All right, guys, Monday morning, and just like that, we're back to it. So, quick recap from last week. Really interesting week for the market. We had Federal Reserve, we had Jerome Powell's speech, and then we had, those potential tariffs that were set to get imposed yesterday on Sunday here. Obviously, Trump and China came to an agreement, and the market reacted very well. So, kind of a sketchy market last week as far as, a few spikes in volatility, but things are looking great heading into today. So market breaks on Thursday to a brand new all-time high as that news is announced. Friday, we continue to move towards a new all-time high. And if you look here at the hourly chart heading into the open, we got another all-time high here. So looking like it may be a little bit of a gap to the upside this morning. Granted, the market opens in about an hour and a half, but nonetheless, we got all those potential catalysts, all those, potential, market-changing events out of the way. The market survived and thrived here. And then we take a look at VIX, guys. If you're in the Focus Trades group, you understand the importance here of volatility being below 16. And as I mentioned, we had a few days there where volatility was knocking on the door, spiking above 16. But as the market reacted well to the news that came out, volatility got sucked right back out of the market. And we find ourselves, guys, back here in that safe zone. The market is well above the 15-period moving average, well above the 50. Volatility is way back below that $16 level. Things are looking good. Now, as you guys know in the market, shit can change really, really quick. It can take one tweet, one little news blip, but as it sits here this morning, the current uptrend survived. Right, that recent drop there, it survived the dip below the 15. It got right back up here. Volatility leaves the market. We're hitting multiple all-time highs. And we got another all-time here this morning. So, like I said, things can change quick, but as of this morning, heading into today, market looks really good. So now let's take a look at a few different setups here. So the first two names I want to cover with you guys here are going to be NVDA and AMD. So last week, and AMD in particular, just getting, crazy call flow. So big money buying calls, fucking nonstop there on Thursday. Big time move. Now, it did fade there on Friday along with NVIDIA. However, we take a look at the two daily charts here for both of these respective stocks, and you guys are going to notice, a good increase in volume there on Thursday for NVIDIA, but a really, really big increase in buying volume there for AMD. So we've got a little bit of volume coming in. We had last week some very obvious option flow to the call side for both of these names. Looking for continuations this week. So for those of you in the group, I did post recaps of my trades last week, and one of them was a little 2-day swing, Wednesday to Friday on NVIDIA here, and those calls returned 160%, which is pretty damn nice. But what we're looking at here, guys, is kind of a continuation of this potential breakout above this 221 level. We get the big move on Thursday, and a little bit of sloppiness and volatility here on Friday. However, we did close above 221. So that's kind of, the support level. That's kind of the threshold here that myself and I'm sure a bunch in the group are going to be using, for potential trade ideas. So I'm not necessarily eager to jump into this morning. I want to see how things shake out. Want to get a feel for the tape, but we do have some obvious resistance above. My best guess, guys, as far as what I'm looking for is I'll avoid, looking for the breakout, and I'll probably just sell some puts instead. However, we'll see how this opens up. We'll see where things fall. I would like to get into some more calls on, a better pullback, but you can see we're gapping here this morning. So I'm going to be patient with NVIDIA, see what kind of price action we get. Maybe I'll get into some calls. Maybe I'm going to sell the shit out of some puts. Now, speaking of selling puts here, right, with AMD, I got a position here on Friday. So big time move here, guys. We did get the breakout. However, nasty fade there on Friday. So like I typically do in a name that's in a clear uptrend, getting a lot of strength, when we get that pullback, I'm looking to take advantage of that spike in premium on the put side and sell some out the money puts, right, in the form of a put credit spread. So that is what I did on Friday. We get a nasty sell off here on Friday. I come in and I'm selling puts down here at 38. So just like you can short a stock, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with option selling, I shorted the 38 strike puts. Now, if you're new to options trading, you've probably learned this lesson the hard way. Options that expire out the money. So for a put, if the market is above that price of the put, for a call, if the market is below that call, the strike prices rather, they go into zero. So just like a stock, I shorted those 38 puts with a put credit spread. So as long as we close anywhere above 38 by the expiration of these puts, I'm going to collect the max profit. So I've got my trade there for NVIDIA. I'm going to leave that one, see what it does. But these are two names I really suggest you guys focus on. Just with all the options flow, and these semiconductors particularly are going to benefit from any kind of progression we make here with China in the trade war. So now let's talk a little bit about ULTA. Alright, so with ULTA, guys, this is a pretty simple one. We had earnings recently. We get a big gap to the upside on a really positive reaction to the earnings. And rather than get continuation here, we've seen, a bit of a dip. So you get a really big reaction, then you get the pullback here. So we're still looking at this thing thinking potentially it's going to make a move to the upside. But me personally, I'm not confident enough, and there's no real, clear level of support here for me to want to buy calls. So instead what I can do, guys, is sell some puts, right? Another put credit spread. So don't got to go into too much detail on this one. Here's something I'm looking at, right? We got a drop there on Friday. That drop on Friday spikes the premiums on the put side. That gives me an opportunity here this morning to come in and, for example, sell some 25-day till expiration 240 puts. And for me, that's a pretty good risk reward. You're risking a little bit less than 4K to make about 1100. That's a trade I'll take every day. And that's below the 15-period moving average. That's below the 50. And if it does end up dropping and tanks below 240, then I'm going to short the fuck out of it anyways. So it's one potential idea here for ULTA, looking for a continuation of that earnings gap to the upside. But selling puts doesn't necessarily require it to actually make that continuation. It could move higher, it could go sideways, it could go lower. As long as it closes anywhere above 240, come that expiration, you're going to collect that $1,000. Alright guys, and if the audio on this video sucked up until this point, my bad. For whatever reason, when I keep my phone on my desk, it sounds like a little bit of auto-tune. So I threw the phone back. Now Facebook. Facebook was a fun trade here on Friday. For those of you guys in the group, I really don't day trade all that much anymore. But when I do, looks a little something like this. So Thursday afternoon, negative news comes out for Facebook. They blow through this level of support like it never existed, all the way down to 194. So I'm sitting here Thursday night, probably 11 o'clock midnight, and I'm just looking through charts, looking for potential trade ideas for the next day. And I noticed that in the after hours action, this thing's making this crazy bounce to the upside. Now typically, guys, when something makes a nasty drop like this on pretty big selling pressure, right? We take a look at the volume there. They're dumping the hell out of this thing. Typically, when something makes a nasty drop like that, it's not just going to rebound right back to that same level. So I'm sitting here that night, I'm looking at this thing bounce, and I'm kind of calling bullshit, right? I don't think it's going to rip right back to 200, 199, 200. So what I was looking for here on Friday morning was to get into some puts, with confirmation from the tape. So really focusing on reading the tape with the group. So we're looking at the level 2 here, and we open up right around here. There's no buyers in sight, right? There's still some selling pressure on the ask, but it was clear as hell on the bid. Nobody's coming in to buy this thing. So what I did, guys, is I bought a 195 strike put, and the game plan was to exit as soon as we hit that level of support, right? I'm not trying to get involved in bounces. I'm not trying to hold on for more profits, looking for the easy move. So typically the easiest move is going to be the move right back down to that level of support. That's what took place here, and that was about a 40% profit in about 15 minutes. And for those of you guys in the group, I posted that trade recap in the members area. Now, as far as what we're looking for today, with confirmation from the tape, potentially looking to short this thing below 194 once again. So it's one thing, guys, to identify a level of support. It's a whole nother level to your trading to be able to see on the level 2, on the time and sales, whether or not the buyers who can hold that up as support are coming in, or whether there's enough selling pressure and not enough buyers that this thing's going to crack through 194 and continue to sell off. So this is something you guys really got to think about. Is it enough to have a simple level of support? Everybody's doing that shit, right? Everybody's looking at a chart, handpicking a level of support, and looking to go short underneath that support. But if you don't know how to read the tape, then it's kind of a coin flip. So we'll see what Facebook's looking like there this morning on the level 2. If we do get a drop back below 194 with some big selling pressure on the ask, we'll probably be looking to take that move to the downside. But that's about it, guys. Along with that, right? I do have my bigger picture trades right now, which are my iron condors on the SPX. I got about 2 of these on right now, and they expire over the next few weeks. And I've got puts sold all the way down here, I believe. Hold on, let's see. Right, let us see. I know I got a few condors on right now, but let's go take a look at January 3rd, and we're at 32.20, and then we are at 29.45. So I've got puts sold way down here at 29.45. All right, so I got crazy cushion there on the put side, and I got calls up here at 32.25. All right, so that's my bigger picture trade, guys. I can leave that on. It happens, it happens. So I wish you guys the best of luck today. For those of you guys and girls in the Focus Trades group, I'll see you at 9 a.m., 30 minutes before the open, and we're going to trade live together until about 10:30. So we'll go together for about an hour, hour and a half, see if we can make some money.